Okay, so I'm going to start the disassembly here. I've got cylinder number 3 standing upright here, and the first thing I'm going to test to see if this was serviced or not is these screws, or these pins that hold the rocker arms in place, should be not tight at all. And okay, so this one's coming out fine. That's good. Try this guy here now. Alright, so that's a good thing. Neither of these was excessively tight or over torqued. Ha! Ha!
I just pulled that out just like that, and that push rod is in upside down. The pointy part is supposed to go up
Into the... Let's see what the other one's like. Oh, wow, check that out. That one came out like this.
So I don't know what numbnuts worked on this engine, but they didn't even put the frickin' rocker arms or push rods in correctly. I think I said rocker arms before. I meant push rods. This one was upside down, which is the exhaust. This is the intake, and it was in right. So I don't know. If Horizon Hobby Services service this engine, they must have some novice in there, because this shit ain't right. This is not what I really wanted to see on this, because this really makes me suspect to this entire freaking engine right now. So I don't know. Let's continue on here and I don't know if that's supposed to have 2 O-ring seals or not. I'll have to go check the parts breakdown and see. But it definitely has 2 O-ring seals on it. Okay, I just gotta make sure these Teflon discs don't fall off and go into the crankcase. So next step is to get those to drop outside the engine. There's one. There's 2. Let's see. Yeah, it just smells like my Marvel Mystery oil. But this piston pin should come out really easy, and it does, so we're good there. Yeah, I really oiled this up pretty good. Like I said, I don't know if they clean these parts, but if so, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of carbon residue on here. This was supposedly a 5-gallon engine. I would think that after 5 gallons you would see more, unless somebody did actually clean this up. So it's kind of hard to tell, but that ring feels like it could be new. I don't know if that play like that is
correct or not.
Just seems like This is only the second one of these I've been into, so it could be that that's correct and normal.
I'm not sure. Okay, the next thing I'm going to try and do is see if there's any chance in hell of me getting these cam followers out of here with just a really strong magnet before... Where did my magnet go? Oh, there it is. Looks like that's falling back down, so it may either be falling back down due to suction. Oh wow, that one came out. Okay, so that's the intake cam follower. And it doesn't look damaged or worn at all. Nice to be able to get that other one out, but if I dry some of the oil.
Okay, so add more magnets, get more magnet power.
Now that biatch came out. The beauty of magnets. Alright, I'm not seeing any issue with... Now had this bottom been mushroomed out at all, it would not have been able to be withdrawn straight out like that. So I don't see an issue with the push rods. I don't see an issue with those cam followers. The only thing that was an issue with the push rods is how they were actually installed. And I'm still
Not quite sure about that play. That play might be correct. If you look down in here and you see this white disc, it's a Teflon disc that rides on this back cover. It's supposed to be a certain thickness, I think, and it might actually supposed to be taking up that slack, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Okay, here's a close-up of this one bearing that's in here, and I can tell, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell from this video. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more before my camera starts to flake out. I can see that is a new bearing. I can still see the grease. You can still see the bearing grease in that bearing. So this does have new bearings. I don't know that I'm gonna do a complete teardown. Oops, wrong way. I don't know if I'm gonna do a complete teardown of this engine now,
or if I'm just gonna take the heads off and make sure those push rods and everything are in there properly. Because right now it does have evidence that, you know, I see perfect evidence that that's a brand new bearing and everything is happy there. So this could change things. It may just be a matter of me just taking the heads off. Well, probably take all three heads off and at least you know, maybe replace all the exhaust valves. Let me move this out of the way again real quick here and show you this. This is the head that had the really weak exhaust valve. It just takes very light pressure to press that. This one takes, I know you can't really tell, but this one takes more pressure than this one does just to barely move it. So I'll be yanking the valves out of this and we'll get some springs on order. Hopefully they're in stock. And then maybe this will just be a quickie head pull, valve spring, replace, and then reassemble and run. Okay, so for those of you that have maybe missed my other videos where I pull the valves from a Saito head, I'm going to give you a quick demonstration here again of what I do. I have a 1/4 inch box end wrench. Man, this is going to suck with it being a black head. And then my screwdriver with a magnet on there and a clean paper towel. Clean paper towel gets shoved up inside the cylinder and compressed. That keeps the spring from, or the valve from dropping down as I
compress the spring.
So what I do here is I have my, look to see where my opening is on that keeper. I orient my, such that I can pull that thing off
With my magnet. Oh shit, I'm sorry, I did that right outside the camera view. Anyway, I depress with this,
slide that off. You'll see the other head. I didn't realize I had that, and then very slowly, gently pull that up and off.
and there's your keeper and your spring. So let's do it on this one here. I had it zoomed in really far so that you could see it, and then I moved the damn thing out of the way so you couldn't. And now I'm looking at the camera trying to do this, so.
And there's my
thing. Now very slowly, gently lift up so that doesn't go flying off.
Okay, so here we go. This is going to be great. Put this on the white. And I'm going to move this over so a little bit so you can see it. Alright, so let me try and line these springs up. Gee.
Do we have a problem there?
Houston, do we have a problem?
That's a problem. You can see how much more compressed or set this valve spring is than this one.
So yes, this engine needs all new valve springs, and they come with these, the top part, the keeper, and then this part here. I don't know if they're both called the keeper, but the valve keepers. So anyway,
let me zoom out here a bit. Now what you do is you just pull your
paper towel out. The valve should just drop straight out. Boom.
There's one valve
Valve out. And both valves are out. Now, it's pretty obvious to tell
which one's the exhaust valve and which one's the intake valve.
actually, these both look pretty dark, but anyway, neither valve. This is what
I find is very interesting is look at the bottoms of these valves. I think this one's probably the exhaust valve. There's a little bit of carbon. It looks like they've been cleaned, because there's really no carbon buildup on this at all. I don't know what the hell the status of this engine was, but these look, the exhaust valve on this doesn't feel like it's dirty at all, like it's been cleaned. So why in the hell would somebody go through the trouble to tear this engine apart, clean the exhaust valves,
and leave that
in there? That's shoddy workmanship.
at best. It's shoddy workmanship. At worst, it's intentional. So I don't know. That's the status of this engine so far.